Welcome to the January 7th Public Council meeting for the town of Conception Bay South. It's our first meeting of 2023, and it's our first meeting of our anniversary year, 2023, where the town is celebrating 50 years of incorporation. So it's great to be here, and it's great to get started for a new year. So first out the gate, we have adoption of agenda and minutes. Actually, we don't. We have something else here beforehand. Just give me 1 second. We're having computer trouble, so I've just got to go back a little bit. We have a land acknowledgement. The town of Conception Bay South would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory in which we gather as the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk and the island of Newfoundland as the ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk. We also respectfully acknowledge Labrador as the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Innu of Nitassinan and the Inuit of Nunatsiavut and the Inuit of Nunatuavut. We strive for respectful partnerships with all the peoples of this province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor this beautiful land together. Now, if you can bear with me, I'll get back to where I was before, maybe. There we are. So, adoption of the meeting agenda for tonight. Moved by Councillor Barrett, seconded by Councillor Butler. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Adoption of the meeting minutes from December 20th, 2022. Moved by Councillor Connors, seconded by Councillor Tilley. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Business arising from previous minutes will be dealt with at this meeting and meetings going forward. And this evening, we do not have any visitors' presentations or petitions, I don't believe. So we'll move right into the new business section of tonight's meeting. And tonight we'll start with Councillor Tilley.
Thank you, Your Worship. From a Ward 3 perspective, nothing to report so far in the new year.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm wishing everybody a happy new year, even though it's a little bit late in the year for that, January 17th, but it is our first meeting for the year, so the first opportunity to do so. I only have one thing I wanted to mention, and that's about Sunday. I get a little nervous talking about it. Paul Connors, our councillor over there looking at me, MC this most amazing afternoon at our CBS Arena. It was hosted by CBS Senior Blues, spearheaded by Adam Gare, who's Angie's brother. And this fundraiser for Sammy's Climb Higher Foundation was just a phenomenal community success. There were so many people there and so many youth and children. And all I could see was number 34 Porter. It was just overwhelmingly emotional for me. A lot of times they're watching it because I'm just one of those kind of people. And Paul, I wanted to say, you did such an amazing job emceeing. I know it was difficult and everybody was watching you there and everybody came over to you afterwards, giving you hugs and stuff, and I can understand why they did. I just want to say that, I mean, a family tragedy such as this was, you know, has brought the community together. And I don't know what the final tally was for Sunday, but it must have been pretty good. And this is all to raise funds so that children can participate regardless of their financial struggles, the family's financial struggles, to be able to participate in sports, recreation, and the arts. So this is just so wonderful. And this is just the beginning from what I understand of what they're going to do over this first year that they're started up. So I just want to say thank you to everybody, and Paul, you can send along thanks also, and thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. Yes, I was there as well, and Sammy's Superheroes Night Game Day event was tremendous. You know, I was stood on one side of the arena, sort of back to what was going on, and people on that side were starting to fill up as they listened to the I guess the recognition given to those involved that day. And I went to the other side so I could get a better view, and they were crying full on by the time I got over there. And they did that because I know they feel it in their hearts, as do the residents throughout Conception Bay South who couldn't attend. The heartbreak for Sammy's family, but they also feel it in pride in looking around to see their fellow residents there in support of this fantastic event. The Climb Higher, I believe it's foundation that's been started so that the memory of Sammy Porter can live on in the joy of other children that may not have the opportunity, but will have the opportunity to participate in the recreation that they choose. And it was just fantastic to be there. And I want to thank you. I know you were there representing the family, but I can tell you, you represented your community very proudly that day for all of us, that recognizing the first responders and the supporters and the people there and the strength of the family that came together. That was essential, and quite frankly, the community at large. Thank you for doing that. And with that, and I know I'm putting you on the spot, but you're next. So Councillor Connors, please.
Thank you. And yes, Sunday was the state was a success is really an understatement. It was a phenomenal success. And for Sammy and Sammy's mom and dad, and to recognize the Blues, to recognize Sammy in that way, and to have a game in his memory, plus to have it as a superhero night. And I'm just going to mention this here now, that the Blues wore a set of uniforms, and the uniforms were actually the last Halloween costume that Sammy wore. So it was a very emotional night for. I've got to be honest, I didn't even think I was going to get through it, but I got through it. But in it, I also said that there's no saying that it takes a village. And in this situation, it's certainly true, because since that tragic day back in July, the whole community, and not only, and I'll say the whole community of Conception Bay South for sure, but the people have reached out from all over. And so it is a village and a community, and just to see how the community came together the other day to come up and support the family, and for so we could recognize, or Angie and Steve could recognize the people who were there on that day. It was amazing. And Angie said something to me today, and I don't want to get too personal here or anything, but Angie said to me, she said, I'm still a mom, but I'm a mom in a different way right now. And that's big, right? So on behalf of Angie and Steve and all the family, we just want to say thank you to those people that we recognized the other day. And to say that this is just the first of events that we will establish over the year, going into the future, and that they'll be forever grateful for everything that was done on Sunday. So thank you to the general public.
Thank you, Councillor Connors. And it's the Climb Higher Foundation.
So it's the Climb Higher Foundation. We will be putting out information on that. So info at, I'm not going to put it out because I don't know if it's climbhigher.com or climbhigher.ca. So, but there is a Facebook page, and I probably should have that here with me right now, but there is a Facebook page, and if anybody wants to contribute, just reach out. You can reach out to me or search it on Facebook. And with the numbers are not in, but the numbers are looking very, very good. I just say that they auctioned off the sweaters after, and the numbers that we heard, that I have all the details, but people bidding $700-800 for a jersey. And so it looks like it's going to be a very good night or day for the foundation, for the Climb Higher Foundation, which means it's going to be really good for other families, because that's what Angie and Steve are all about right now, helping out other families.
All right. So I encourage residents to look for the Climb Higher Foundation.
Sammy's Climb Higher Foundation.
Through Facebook and so forth. And the money donated there is done so in the memory of Sammy Porter, and it's for the benefit of children who need that little bit of assistance to make sure that they get to enjoy the games like Sammy enjoyed in his short life.
Put smiles on their faces like I put a smile on Sammy's face.
Thank you, Councillor Connors. Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship, just a quick note. Notice this week in social media that the Healthcare Foundation has released its Home Lottery 2023 for this year. And again, the Dream Home is on Kinglet Way in the Kingfisher Estates development just off Cherry Lane. I want to point out this is the 4th year that we've been the hosts for that Dream Home. It's obviously been good for the Healthcare Foundation, and it's certainly been good for us, and in terms of the promotion that the town gets, but also it's allowed us to kickstart that development, which I believe I was on there today. I believe there are eight new homes there now, so it's a beautiful area. So just want to remind people that those tickets are now available and encourage our residents to get out and support that good cause. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Hilliard. And of course, it allows people to live out their dream of living in Conception Bay South, the dream home. Deputy Mayor Goss.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Seeing as our first meeting of 2023, I would like to say Happy New Year to our residents and to everyone. And with a new year comes a new opening here in town. And this afternoon, our councillors had the privilege to have the tour of our new library building. And it was quite a treat. The staff is there very busy working, getting it organized and shelving books and getting ready. And the plan is to have the library opened next Thursday, January 26th. It's a beautiful, bright building. Not your typical library as we remember, as we grew up with, and certainly is what we had here in the community. It's quite a beautiful building. Lots of spaces. It's got a maker room, which is quite interesting. We listened to the staff speak about what a maker room is. It's a place to be creative with technology. And I look forward to learning more about that and hear more about the things that can be done in the maker room. And there's a great community space where they will have open for library programming and open to community groups, not-for-profit community groups to use and meet, and lots of places for people to work and study or, connect. And there's an outside garden that will be developed, a reading garden, which will come together as we get to, the next season, spring and summer. Anyway, it's a beautiful addition to our community, and we're really pleased with it. It was nice to get a little sneak peek before it opens to the public on January 26th. So stay tuned for the details. They put lots of details on their Facebook page, the Conception Bay South Community Library. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. As they say, this is not your father's library. This is a whole new kettle of fish, a whole new way of doing business. Councillor Morris.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. First of all, I wasn't able to attend on Sunday, but people I've spoken to and the pictures you see on social media, I mean, you can tell the arena was just full of emotion, but happy emotion, sad emotion. And it's just a great thing that they're doing for other families in our community. So Paul, just hats off for pulling all together and having such a great turnout and for such a great cause. I just wanted to mention a few other things with regards to recreation. First of all, to welcome our new recreation director, Nick Miller. Great to have him on board. Excited for 2023 and all the new things that are going to come. And with that, I wanted to mention our 50th anniversary. So I encourage residents to be keeping an eye out on our social media because we're going to be having events throughout the year. Right now, we do have a paint night that's going to be at 9 Penny on January 26th. Local artist Emma Dooley has designed a picture of a sunset in CBS, and that will be what will be done that night. And it's $40 per person. So it is sold out already. And it's sold out already. So that's great. I didn't realize that. So I encourage, there will be more. I know we're hoping to do one every couple weeks or every once a month or something.
I did ask.
Two. Too. So there'll be lots of opportunities if you didn't get in on this one. So that's just one of the things. And we do have our Winterfest committee started, and there's 50th anniversary committee started, and there's lots of great ideas and lots of exciting events coming up. So please keep an eye out for that. Our Winterfest also February 11th and 19th. There's lots of great ideas that are going to be put on social media soon, and a lot with the 50th anniversary twist. So I encourage you to keep an eye out for that. And the last thing, we are now looking for people to be on our SORI committee. SORI this year is July 8th to 14th. The deadline to apply to be on the committee is January 23rd, and you can contact Carla, and all her information is on the website. But it's going to be a pretty exciting year with the 50th anniversary. So if you haven't been involved in SORI before, I encourage you to reach out and become involved. So it's going to be a great year. That's it for me. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, Councillor Morris. Lots to look forward for sure. Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, your worship. Well, good evening. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you all had a good break and have embraced the start of the new year. As some, I think somebody mentioned, we are really launching our 50th anniversary this year, 50th anniversary of Conception Bay South. And really the start of that was our New Year's Eve activities, where we had our skate and our New Year's Eve fireworks. That was really our official launch of our 50th anniversary. But I have to admit that I was disappointed with one of the outcomes of the evening, and I wanted to rehash something I brought up last year, which was expressing my concern regarding the increased number of collisions that have been occurring on Peacekeepers Way. We have in our community and people that drive through our community, we have a number of reckless drivers, but also the engineering of the highway does not necessarily facilitate the increased demand of our growing community. We have a growing community, which we're very happy about, but there is increased congestion and challenges with that. All of which to say, I was frankly shocked to see, I don't know if anybody else did, but when I was at the fireworks, I was down by the community garden, and I counted over 30 vehicles pulled over on the side of Peacekeepers Way watching the fireworks, where it got to the point where the RNC sent 2 patrol officers to basically shoo these vehicles out of the way, and all of which traffic was bumper to bumper in both directions. There was a lot of congestion, and it just was a very pitch black, very seemingly unsafe area to be. And so it clearly bears repeating. Please, folks, residents, please be safe on Peacekeepers Way. I hope you were in your vehicle, but so help me God, if a child got out of their vehicle looking at the fireworks on the side of the road, or there was some other issue, we would have a very devastating situation on our hands. And so I would encourage you, if you do want to engage, watch the fireworks, just take some extra time, go to a safe location. There was lots of parking up by the stadium, instead of putting yourself and others at risk. And so I just wanted to thank the RNC for their prompt response there and their continued efforts to enhance the safety of our community. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Councillor Hardy.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. There's nothing new to report on now for the Ward Forward perspective. But certainly want to take a moment and speak about the Sammy's Climb Higher Foundation and the event that they had on Sunday. Welcome to the Superheroes game. I had the pleasure to be in the change room with all of the kids getting ready to go out to do, I guess, their intermission game, and to see all of his best buddies in there, excited, laughing and then carrying it on. And Aiden, who is Sammy's older brother, and Angie in that room, just to see the smiles on their face. And it's okay to smile. It really warmed my heart, having gone through a situation years ago. So it, the little things like that, I think, is really what's going to help this family get forward, and how the community is really putting their arms around them, and we're all in this together. You could see it, the kids running around the stadium, they had superhero costumes on, you had Dad and Hulk costumes. Everyone really participated in whatever they meant for them that day. So kudos to Paul on your speech that day. I know you felt like you stumbled a couple of times, but I think it just really showed your passion and how much this means to you and the family. And I think it was so well received. And I'm glad to be a part of it and certainly whatever the foundation moves forward. So thanks for everyone participating. And I know Andrew would certainly feel the same way.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. Just briefly, I just want to echo something that Councillor Moore has touched on earlier, is that we have a new face in the room, and I know that people can't see him from here, but I can see him, so he's directly to my left. What's that? Come on. Come on, stand right up here. New member of the team. We're really excited to have him here. Nick Miller. Nick, come on in. If you can't see yourself on the camera can't see you. Nick Miller is our new Director of Recreation and Leisure, and it's a great pleasure to have you aboard, and we're looking forward to some wonderful things coming in the next few years. Do you want to share any thoughts, or do you want to?
I just want to let the town know I'm very excited to take the role. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do over the next couple of years. I always say this is my third different municipality now. And when I move to a municipality, my goal is to make the current municipality I'm with the best recreation department it can be. So that's my goal.
Pretty good. So already, you know, he thinks
Thank
on
you
his
very
feet because he wasn't expecting that. And you're home now, Nick Miller. You don't have to travel around anymore. All right. Okay. So let's get to the people's business. And first off, as always, recommendations of Planning and the Development Committee Chair, Councillor Rex Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship, these are recommendations brought forward from our last Planning and Development Committee meeting. Number 1, 30 Millers Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Council's authority of section 5.3.12 of the town's development regulations, application number 2463 received December 20th, 2022 for an accessory building with 6 square meter lot coverage at 30 Millers Road be refused in consideration that the accessory building can be reasonably accommodated in the rear yard of the property, and the accessory building is not effectively screened from the street and or other adjacent properties. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hardy, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
5B 2644 Topsail Road. Be it so resolved. Oh no, I need a refresh here. Be it so resolved that in accordance with subsection 1083F of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000 and section 10.11.3 of the town's development regulations, application number 1223 dated January 31st, 2022, to subdivide the property located at 2644 Topsail Road be refused, as the proposal would result in an increase in the non-conformity of the building line setback, and the resulting building lot cannot accommodate development of a dwelling that would meet the building line and rear yard setback requirements. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Butler, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, this property is on the corner of Mercer's Road and Route 60, and basically all we're saying there is that if it were to be subdivided, the subsequent lot would not be big enough to accommodate a house.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Five C. Be it so resolved that in accordance with 1083F of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, application numbers 2410 and 2411 received on November 9th, 2022, seeking reconstruction of a greenhouse at 282 Conception Bay Highway be approved. So moved.
Seconder. Seconder? No second? Oh, I got a seconder. Councillor Connors? Discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, this property had a large greenhouse that was in a significant state of disrepair, and we've been working with the owner to I guess find the correct spot on the property to replace this greenhouse, and we think we've done that. We're prepared to release permit.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 5D. Be it so resolved that in accordance with council's authority of section 10.11.3 of the town's development regulations, application number 2455 for a 4-unit row dwelling at 711 Pine Tree Road be refused in consideration that the property does not meet the minimum lot area requirement. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Connors, discussion?
Yes, well, I got a question, your worship. I do notice that we turned down a proposal previous, I think sometime in 2022, I believe it was for 6 lot.
No, we approved that.
Oh, we approved that
We
one.
approved that. The owner withdrew the application.
Okay, and so
And
is
now have come forward with a different proposal.
okay. What was the real stark difference from, I guess, going from a larger,
There's an existing house on the property.
okay,
The first, yes, so the first plan was to knock down the old house that was on the property and use the whole lot for a
Okay.
six unit building.
so, and this current one doesn't include the tear down of the house.
Right now, right now they've divided the lot. The house is on one lot, but the lot that's left over doesn't have the area to accommodate a 4-unit multi-unit building.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 5E, be it so resolved that in accordance with subsection 201.28 of the Municipalities Act 1999, the town sell approximately 15 square meters of land at Ewings Road to the adjacent property owner at 62 Cabot Road at fair market value in consideration that the land is of minimal value to any other person. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Tilly, discussion?
Mr. Worship, the issue here is an attempt to fix an encroachment of a shed onto town property. So the property owner is asked to buy the land that the encroachment is existing on, and we're saying, yeah, that's fine. We'll offer that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
5F, be it so resolved, the subject to payment of the appropriate fee and deposit, and in accordance with section 1(4) of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, the town undertake initial public and stakeholder consultation with respect to propose rezoning of the property at 118 Red Bridge Road from open space recreation to residential medium density. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Moores, discussion?
Mr. Worship, this is a property that's adjacent to Sergeant Ned Nugent Park off Redbridge Road. And when Sergeant Ned's was developed, what, 25 years ago or more? Longer than that. This adjacent piece was set aside or was zoned open space recreation with the thought that at a future time, it could be incorporated into Sergeant Nugent. So basically the town's been sitting on this property or not sitting on it, but has been restricting development of it for some 25 or 30 years. And the property owner has come forward with a formal request to ask to have it rezoned. And this is the beginning, I guess, of that process moving forward to eventually make a decision as to whether or not we will rezone or we will not rezone.
So that leaves the town with the option at the end of the day on this land, but we'll go through the process and see what's possible there and make sure whatever's being proposed would fit into that. That would make sense for the town and I suppose for the landowner.
Absolutely.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
And your worship, final recommendation, be it so resolved that the decisions and recommendations made at the Planning and Development Committee meeting on January 9th, 2023 be accepted as presented. And we've got a list of items there that we discussed beyond those that were brought forward for recommendation tonight.
Seconder. Counselor Barrett, discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded? Carried.
That's it from us, sir, your worship.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier.
I will say, sir, that we've got with the shuffling of the cabinet and new people in committees, it's been a pleasure working with my two colleagues for the first time around, and I think we'll be making some great decisions going forward.
Okay, all right. So, and with that, Councillor Hillier, I will note that there has been some changes to committees as there usually is annually. So starting out the new year, I will welcome and turn the microphone over to Recommendations of Engineering and Public Works with the newly appointed Chair, Councillor Melissa Hardy.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. I just have a blanket recommendation to bring forward for this evening. But before I go ahead and do that, I just want to remind the residents of a water disruption tomorrow in the east end of town around Manuel's River and the Neils Line area. It's from 8:30 to 4:30. So properties in a nearby vicinity are going to certainly see some lower water pressure and certainly some discoloration when the water does come back. So folks who are signed up for the residents alert, you would have received that today. If not, I would encourage all residents to sign up for those alerts because it's certainly something the town does use frequently when we're trying to get mass alerts out. So. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions of the Engineering and Public Works Committee held on Wednesday, January 11th, be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Morris, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Hardy. Recommendations of Recreation and Leisure Services Committee, Chair, Councillor Shelley Moores.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. I also have a blanket recommendation, but I did just want to mention, we had a lot of discussion around the Manuel's River lights. We all know how everyone in the community loves walking Manuel's River during the winter season, especially when it's lit up. So we are hoping next year that the lights will be on longer, starting to begin in December and go right up until the end of Winterfest. So that is our goal that we're putting on the records for next year. We also talked about extending our lights to other areas, but that will depend on funding. So just want to let residents know that. And also with regards to our community park and the ice rink, we're all aware of the rain that we've been having and our summer temperatures. So it hasn't been in favor for our outdoor ice rinks. So we will, the department is going to work on getting that up and running next week to start the process again of getting the ice surface frozen. So hopefully if the weather cooperates, we will have an ice rink in the next little while. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee meeting of January 12, 2023 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett, discussion? I just want to note, Councillor Moores, you noted the lighted walk and it finished up last Friday. Our stats came out in January, early January for our counts on our counters on the trailway. And over the 2-year period, almost 570,000 passes on the trail systems in Conception Bay South, which to me is absolutely incredible. So I know the lighted walk usually helps jack those numbers up in December and early January. And of course, we don't have January's, or I don't even think we have December's numbers yet. I think that went to the end of November. So looking forward to seeing that again. And of course, looking forward to having the lighted walk back again later on. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
All right. Thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. Recommendations of Financial and Administrative Services, Deputy Mayor Andrea Goss.
Thank you, Mayor. Our first item these are the recommendations of Financial Administrative Services Committee. And our first item is 8A, accounts payable checks. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay accounts payable checks totaling $526,196.31 as per the attached report. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Next item is 8B for manual checks. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify the payment of manual checks totaling $489,902.88. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Butler, discussion?
Just paying the bills.
All in favor of paying the bills? Contrary minded? Carried.
Our next item. My computer is slow. Here we go. 8C is the capital invoice approval. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay capital invoices totaling $218,684.75 as per the attached listing. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Hilliard, discussion?
These are invoices mostly pertaining to engineering and design for our capital works projects that were ongoing throughout the year. We did a lot of work in the community this year, and these projects are winding up, so the engineering is finishing up.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Okay, hang on. Next item. Tax and other receivable adjustments. Be it so resolved that approval be granted to adjust tax and other receivable accounts as follows. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Hilliard, discussion?
These are just a couple of adjustments that came forward as recommended by staff.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Next item 8E is a tender 22-09 approval to award. Be it so resolved that approval be given to award tender 22-09 fully inclusive service agreement on the mechanical equipment for the town hall to Ainsworth Inc. at a cost of $85,308.40 plus HST for the duration of 5 years. $17,061.68 plus HST per year. Funds are available in account as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Barrett, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Next item is a tender 22-10 approval to award. Be it so resolved that approval be given to award tender 22-10 fully inclusive service agreement on the mechanical equipment for Fire Station Number 1 to Ainsworth Inc. at a cost of $114,754.05 plus HST for the duration of 5 years. $22,950.81 plus HST per year. Funds are available in the account as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Tilly, discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 8G, municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador and PMA membership fees. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay the 2023 membership fees for municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador and professional municipal administrators in the amount of $19,086.36. Funds are available as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Butler, discussion? And of course, these are fees paid for our membership in municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador, joining with other communities around the province. And I believe it's based on population that each municipality pays based on their population. So that's our amount. So every municipality's amount would be different. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Next item 8H is the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay the 2023 membership fees for the Federation of Canadian Municipalities in the amount of $7,231.06. Funds are available and account is presented. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Moores, discussion?
Again, this is just another membership that we are part of. And it's just the annual fees.
Yeah, and it's again based on the population. I believe.
Population.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Okay. 8I, protective clothing tender 2023. Be it so resolved that approval be given to call the tender for the supply of protective clothing 2023. Funds are available in account as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Hardy, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And the last item is our departmental report. before I bring that forward, I just want to make mention from as chair of finance, I want to make mention that the property tax invoices are now out. They went out in the last couple of weeks. They're in the mail, or you either got them by email if you've been having them by email. I just want people to be mindful that they are out. If you haven't received them, then reach out to our Department of Finance and let them know, and they'll be able to help you out. And these are due by the end of February 28th. And if you are interested in the equal payment plan, reach out to Department of Finance and get that. You can apply to have that done. If you became a senior during the year, then you need to let the Department of Finance know you're eligible for seniors discount. But if you had that discount last year, you don't need to come and show up and show that you're a senior again this year. So just a couple of reminders, friendly reminders. And if you have any questions at all, reach out to our finance department. So on that note, I will bring forth the department report. Be it so resolved that the decisions and recommendations of the Financial Administrative Services Committee meeting held on January 9th, 2023 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Barrett, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And that's it for finance.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Goss. Recommendations of Economic Development and Tourism Chair, Counselor Paul Connors.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before I start, I'd like to say that it was a privilege to have served under Councillor Hillier and the Planning Committee. And I know that myself and Councillor Barrett left it in good hands as we moved on to other committees.
So you're waylaying any concern that there may have been an abandonment of that committee?
No, there was no abandonment.
Of course not.
He trained us well and we're just moved on.
Yeah.
If I could add, somebody, boys, please approve a few chickens, would you? I mean,
No more chickens or fences for you, Counselor Connors or Counselor Barrett. Okay.
Recommendations of the Economic Development and Tourism for the committee meeting, which was on January 12th. Conservation Corps Green Team. Be it so resolved that approval be given to apply to the Conservation Corps of Newfoundland and Labrador Green Team Program for 2023 at a cost of $4,000. Funds are available in the so noted account. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Butler, discussion.
Yeah, I'll just give a little bit of an update here. So we've been participating in this program now for over 18 plus years. And we've hosted a 4-person green team in our community over the summer months to work with the CBS Parks Commission. And they've done a lot of good work here in Conception Bay South. And they're really a valuable asset to us. So the committee is recommending that we apply again this year.
if I could just add, I completely agree with everything Councillor Connor said. I mean, the fact that we are earmarking $4,000 for the amount of work and labor we get from these students is remarkable. And I've been involved with this program before getting elected and overseeing some of these hardworking individuals. And it's a big asset for the town. It's a great opportunity for some of these individuals. And we have seen some success over the years also, to the point where we were able to onboard with a couple students in town hall here and whatnot. So I think this is a great program and happy we are submitting another application.
Any further comments? Okay, all in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Next is the Economic Development Tourism Blanket Recommendation. Before I do that, just a couple of things I want to speak about. The backyard compost tumbler distribution program has been a great success with 169 pre-orders to date. And the deadline now is on January 25th. So if anyone wants to order, they'll be delivered in April, but there's still an opportunity for people to order. And so far we're having great success with that. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that the just adding on to the 50th anniversary that Councillor Moores mentioned, Business is the backbone of our community, and there have been a number of businesses that have been around just as long as our community has been incorporated. So we want to recognize those businesses this year. So we're looking for people to just send a name, or you can call it a nominee, but we're looking for the long-standing businesses in Conception Bay South, so they can be recognized this year during our 50th celebrations. Be it so resolved that the recommendations, decisions made at the Economic Development Tourism Committee meeting of January 12th, 2023 be accepted as presented. A list of discussion topics is attached. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. It seems, Deputy Mayor Goss, that the poinsettia had nothing to do with me not. I got some sort of partial blindness here. I can't see you wanting to second anything, so. So just a note for the record, the deputy mayor would like to have seconded a number of items tonight, but never got the opportunity because I didn't look all the way over that way. Okay, thank you, Councillor Connors. Other committee reports. Does anyone have anything else they want to bring forward this evening before we wrap up? Councillor Moores.
I'll just briefly mention again, we've had both 50th anniversary committee meeting and a Winterfest meeting. And I just want to say that we have a great group around the table for both committees, and a lot of great ideas that are going to be coming forward. So just encourage everyone to keep an eye on all of our social media so you can see all the great things that are being planned and upcoming, and participate in as much as you can. Thanks.
Yeah, and with that, if anybody has anything, any suggestions of their own, they should send them to us. We'll get them to the committee, and the committee can see if they can fit them in, of course. And or if they think anything should be recognized or made highlighted during the year, absolutely, the committee would love to hear from anybody. And if you see stuff like that going around our social media, please share it. The bigger the reach we got, the more people and more things that we'll be able to identify and find to make this a great year here in Conception Bay South. Anyone else have a committee report? Yep, Councillor Barrett. Try again, Councillor Barrett.
Hello. Okay. Back in business. Thank you. I attended a Parks Commission meeting. Thank you, Councillor Morris, for cracking up next to me on Thursday, January 12th. And then part of the discussion was our green team application, as Councillor Connors had mentioned, and some general updates as well from each of the natural areas in our community, which is always a great opportunity. A couple things, I'll just plant a couple seeds. We might have an exciting announcement with respect to our community garden and a local food infrastructure fund. I know we chatted about that at Economic Development Committee. We're still waiting for a couple of I's to be dotted and T's to be crossed, but hopefully we can have some exciting news to share on that front next time. But that is really the synopsis of our meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Anyone else? I just want to wrap up before we adjourn by saying thank you and a congratulations to the Salvation Army, who were able to raise $81,000 with 4 kettles over the Christmas season. And I know that that exceeded their goals. So, and of course, that money they spend back here in the community supporting families in Conception Bay South. So great job by them. And I know that I think pretty well everybody had an opportunity to do an hour or two on the kettle this year, as we always do. So it was great to be able to help out as a council, and happy to do it. If there's nothing else, just to note, we will be back here on February 7th for their next meeting. So I'll call for a motion for adjournment. Deputy Mayor Goss is motioning for adjournment. Is there a seconder? Seconder is Councillor Hardy. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you and good night.